today's video, I want to share with you what 99% of dropshippers aren't doing. Because as much as it is about not doing what these 99% of dropshippers are doing, it's also about doing what they are not doing. 99% of dropshippers fail because they do not do what they are supposed to do, and they do what they are not supposed to do. So in this video, I'm going to dive deep into what they are supposed to do and they are not doing. So if you want to succeed with dropshipping or any other business for that matter, you want to do what unsuccessful people are not doing so that you can belong to the top 1% of dropshippers who succeed with dropshipping and make a living out of it. So without further ado, let's dive deep into it. So we have 10 reasons, which I have outlined right here, and I have highlighted the most important things with an exclamation mark. As you can see, we have point 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9, which I believe are the most important ones, which 99% of dropshippers do not apply, and which constitute a major reason to their failure with dropshipping. And under each blocks, I have 3 sticky notes. I have a red, orange, and green sticky notes. So the red one goes over what they are not doing exactly. The orange one discusses why it matters, and the green one discusses what they should do, which is not what they are doing. So what 99% of dropshippers don't do, they do not pick a great brand name, they do not get a professional logo, and they do not pick the right brand color. So a lot of these new wannabe dropshippers, they spend little to no time giving consideration to these very critical things when it comes to branding, and branding is literally the foundation and the building block of your e-commerce business. Because if you do not establish a strong branding strategy, which is essential to building a long-term, consistently profitable branded dropshipping store in the long run, then you are not serious about building a long-term profitable e-commerce store. The reason why this matters is because dropshipping is extremely competitive. Year after year, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of new dropshippers that enter the market because the barriers to entry are very low. So people take advantage of these barriers to entry to build their stores. And a lot of these people, they totally neglect the branding side of things. So without a strong brand identity, you cannot stand out and you cannot succeed long term. So when you enter a highly competitive market, whether that be dropshipping or launching a restaurant or a physical business or selling supplements in a brick and mortar store, whatever you are doing, if you are involved in a highly competitive niche, you have to come up with your own high barriers to entry. And branding just happens to be one of the most important levers that you can use so that you can make it harder for your competitors to compete with you, to copy you, and to pose a threat to you in the marketplace. What they should do instead is research the top 3 competitors, the top 3 dogs in the niche, learn from them, from their mistakes, from what they have done right, from what they have done wrong, so that they can follow a blueprint to establish a stronger brand which capitalizes off of the mistakes of the top 3 competitors, so that you can go head to head with them in the market and provide a much better value proposition to the marketplace, helping you get more customers. They should also invest in logo creation and brand name. If you are serious about building a long-term branded dropshipping store, you have to spend money on your logo design. Make sure that you hire the very best logo designer that you can get. You can typically hire a logo designer on a platform like Fiverr or Upwork. I personally bought mine off of Fiverr for like $30. And that $30 investment was well worth it because the return on investment that you will get on your logo is just infinite if you do things right. So now moving on to point number 2, which I have highlighted with an exclamation mark, it is the obsessive focus on customer experience. Now, if I were to pick the most critical thing across all these 10 components that I have outlined right here, I would certainly not hesitate to pick this one in particular, because when you think about it, what is business? Business is basically existing because of customers, because business is based on customers, and without customers, you are not able to generate sales, and without generating sales, you are not able to grow, you are not able to build a business and grow it, and without generating sales, your business is going to die. So the backbone of your business is basically your customers. The reason why this does not apply to e-commerce and dropshipping only, this applies across the board with all types of businesses. Customer satisfaction, customer experience, customer support is probably the most important thing. When you look at companies like Amazon, how they achieved what they have been able to achieve, it's mostly because of their strong focus on customer satisfaction. I mean, just do the experience yourself. If you have bought something from Amazon, just reach out to their customer support and see how effective their customer support team is and how serious they are about your satisfaction, making sure that you are totally satisfied with your order, whether that be through providing you with a quick refund or quick replacement, or simply just being super responsive to your inquiries online. So you have to learn from top companies' practices when it comes to customer support, because, like I said, customer support is really the backbone of your business. It's the foundation of every successful business, and it is really what's going to differentiate you and make you stand out in a highly competitive environment. This critical component of business just happens to be one of the most neglected things when it comes to new dropshippers. When they get started with dropshipping, they just totally neglect customer support. They do not give it the required attention that it deserves. And more times than not, it's the one thing that leads to their demise with dropshipping and leads to them not being able to achieve results. So, what 99% of these dropshippers don't do, they do not obsess about customer experience. This is probably the least of their worries. They do not collect reviews on major review platforms. If they do, they buy fake reviews off of some shady review sellers online. And trust me, guys, if you do anything unethical like this, like collecting fake reviews, it will backfire and it's going to lead to your demise with dropshipping, because anything that is built on cheating and dishonest practices will eventually collapse. That's just how karma works. If you try to cheat customers by showing fake reviews, it's going to backfire and you're not going to be able to succeed. Whereas if you are collecting only verified and genuine, authentic reviews, people are going to tell that those reviews are authentic and it's going to pay off tremendously. So please do not make the mistake of falling into the trap of buying fake reviews, because it might look tempting, but in the long run, it's going to backfire 100%. They do not build a brand reputation online. They do not care about their brand reputation. So why this matters? This matters because customer satisfaction, like I said, is the backbone of every successful business. Customers have the power to grow and shut down your store. It is the customer's purchase decision which keeps your store alive. It is the customer's trust in your brand which keeps your pockets full of money and your bank account full of money. So without the customer's purchase and without the customer's money, you would not be able to thrive and you would not be able to grow your business and have your business survive over the next few years. One happy customer will buy again and might bring you 5 other customers for free. So think about it. If you really take customer support and satisfaction very seriously and you do your absolute best to ensure your customers are 100% satisfied with the products that you sold them, then not only these happy customers will keep buying from you in the future, but they will also refer relatives or friends to buy from your store in the future. It has a compounding effect, and the more happy customers you have, the more potential you have to get more repeat purchases and more new customers, which do not cost you a dime to convert. So keep that in mind, guys. What they should do is be obsessed with customer support, show customers that you care, and the mindset which has worked quite well for me and which I'm about to share with you is consider a 5-star real authentic review as better than sale. Because if you think about it, a positive review, dozens if not hundreds of potential customers are going to read it, and this is going to influence the decision of these potential customers and potentially lead to a higher conversion rate, because potential customers that are reading that positive review will be convinced about purchasing from your store instead of purchasing from another competitor who might have, worse reviews than you do. So when you are running a store, you should not consider a sale as the ultimate prize. A sale brings money to your bank account now, but a positive review might bring a lot more money to your bank account later, further down the line. Moving on to point number 3, which is thinking long term. Again, this is a trap that a lot of new dropshippers fall into. They fall into the trap of going for a get rich quick scheme, and they believe that they can become a millionaire when they find their first winning product in just a matter of weeks, and they will totally change their lives overnight, because gurus made them believe that that is possible, that they can change their lives overnight with just one winning product. And then once you find the winning product, then you're set up for life, when this couldn't be further from the truth, because a winning product is only going to stay a winning product for a while, because what these newbie dropshippers call winning products are basically just trendy products, which are basically based on catching a wave early. So the earlier you catch the wave, the more you are likely to make money from that winning product. But that winning product is not going to stand the test of time and be able to generate you revenue for the long run. So my goal when I started with dropshipping was to make money over the long run. It was not to make money the first, second, third month and then that's it. No, I wanted to build a dropshipping store from scratch and grow it slowly but surely till I get to a point where the store consistently and predictably generates revenue over the long run, because that was my ultimate goal. It was consistency and it was not quick cash. And this is unfortunately not the case with a lot of dropshippers. So what they don't do is they don't commit to building an actual brand online for at least 2 years. They do not have long-term goals and they do not prioritize consistency over quick cash. Why this matters? It matters because long-term commitment is the price to pay for consistency. And short-term commitment will never bring long-term results. The older the brand, the more valuable and the more you will have an edge over new competitors. So really when you think about it, anything that comes quick in the early stages has the lowest odds of being consistent and predictable over the long run, whereas something that takes quite a while in the beginning has the highest odds of becoming consistent and bringing you a consistent cash flow, revenue, and profits over the long run. Point number 4 is specializing in one niche. Again, another trap that 99% of dropshippers fall into. What 99% of dropshippers don't do is they do not commit to one niche and they do not set out to become the expert in that niche and learn everything they can about that particular niche. What they do is just sign up for a spy-in software online, pay $30, $40 to a spy-in tool, which is most likely made by dropshippers who failed at consistently generating revenue with their dropshipping stores. So they branch out to making these spy-in tools and selling them to dropshippers who think they will find their next winning product that is going to change their lives on a platform which hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users are using to find winning products. And they are just after and the next trendy product, the next attention grabbing product, which they have no clue about. They have no understanding who the right customer for that product is, how that particular type of customer thinks, what are their needs, how they could market that product to that particular type of customer. They just want to ride the wave, find that product that they think is going to change their lives. And once that product dies out, they jump onto the next, and it's a never ending hamster cycle. So ask yourself this question: do you really want to be in this position where you are in a constant hunt for winning products and you are just running in an endless hamster wheel? Well, the answer for me was absolutely no. I wanted to specialize in one niche and one niche only, a niche which I was familiar with, that I had a good understanding and command of, and the niche that would basically guarantee the highest odds of me becoming profitable and the niche that would guarantee the highest odds of me becoming an authority figure and the benchmark in that niche. Why this matters? It matters because the more time you spend in the niche that you specialize in, the more customers will perceive you as the expert, the higher your authority will be and the stronger position you will occupy in the market, thus making it harder for newcomers to compete with you. So basically you will be perceived as a high authority within your niche. It's going to be that much more difficult for anyone that sees that you are successful to come and just compete with you, because you will have raised the bar and you will have established yourself as an authority figure in your niche, and customers will recognize you as someone trustworthy, someone reliable, and someone they would rather buy from instead of buying from a newbie competitor who has no history, no established track record whatsoever. So what they should do instead is they should focus on one niche only and set out to become the expert in that niche so that they can stand out and maximize their chances of building a long-term, long-lasting business which they can live off. Point number 5, which again is super important, is picking a niche they are passionate about. 99% of dropshippers, they do not pick a niche they are passionate about. They just pick a niche that they think is working, a niche that someone else told them that that niche is working and they should try it out because it might generate them a ton of money and change their lives forever. What these people don't understand is, well, here's the deal. What makes you think that you will become the authority figure in that particular niche if you are not genuinely passionate about that niche and if you do not have a strong understanding and a strong affinity with that niche? Chances are literally zero, because you will have other competitors who are absolutely passionate about that niche and they will blow you out of the water and just totally outperform you. You will have no chance whatsoever competing with them. Why? Because they have a competitive advantage, and that competitive advantage is called passion. Passion is what's going to enable you to run a store for the long run. Passion is what's going to enable you to come up with innovative marketing strategies. Passion is what's going to enable you to know who is your exact type of customer and to know what are the pain points of that customer and how to engage those pain points and provide him with the best products that address those pain points in the very best way possible. And there is no way in hell that you will be able to build a long lasting store in a niche that you do not understand or a niche that you have no affinity with, because you will run out of ideas to innovate in your particular niche and you will just throw in the towel when another passionate competitor of yours is going to keep going because they just enjoy what they are selling. They enjoy growing their store. They enjoy fine tuning their store, finding new products in that niche because they are just passionate about it. And you cannot beat passion. It's not possible. It matters because you have the highest odds of long-term success when selling something you are passionate about, and you have a stronger capability to compete with existing competitors and win against them and conquer bigger market shares because of your passion. It's your passion that's going to make you stand out and come up with ways to differentiate your store from the competition. Also, knowing your customer avatar is essential. One of the ways to know your customer avatar is to actually be one of your customers. You have to share the same needs and the same passion, the same interest for the products you are selling in your niche as the customer that is going to buy them from you. Let's say, for example, you are passionate about dogs. Well, the only way you understand a dog owner is by being a dog owner and being passionate about dogs, right? If you are passionate about fishing, how the hell are you going to understand the needs of a dog owner? There's no way you would be able to understand his needs, right? So what they should do is obviously pick a niche you are passionate about and sell to customers they can relate to. And the only way to relate to a customer is to be like that customer. And to be like that customer, you have to have common interests, common passion, common knowledge, and whatnot. Point number 6 is getting your own content. Point number 6 is getting your own content. This is where the lazy fall. What 99% of dropshippers don't do. They don't get their own creative. They just rip off content. They just steal ad creatives, video, images, you name it. They do not get their own product pictures because it's the easiest and the fastest way to get started and the way that requires the least effort. Well, so they just take the easiest route. Well, the easiest route will not lead you to a glorious destination. You have to put in some effort. You have to invest some time, energy, and money into acquiring your own creatives, your own product images, and whatnot. Copying and stealing is a quick shortcut to failure. Getting your own content is one barrier to entry that you set up for yourself to make it harder for competitors to compete with you, because no one in the market is going to have your own creatives, your own product pictures, and it's going to be harder for newcomers to compete with you. So instead, you should order first a sample product and make sure you get professional pictures, videos, shots so that you can publish them to your store, and make sure that you watermark them so that you prevent competitors from stealing them from you and be able to take them for free when you have put so much effort into getting them in the first place. Point number 7 is thinking outside the box. A lot of dropshippers, what they don't do is they don't test different things. They don't follow their intuition. This is a very important point. Intuition is something very strong that you have to act on. If you have intuition, you have to follow it. You have to follow your intuition. And when you follow your intuition and it works out, well, it works out big time. So you should never underestimate the power of your intuition. And just because someone says that this strategy, this Facebook testing strategy, or this product works for them, or this type of store works for them, does not mean that it's something that will work for you and that it's something that you have to stick to. No, it's something you can learn from, but it's not something set in stone. Just because someone said that this thing is working, does not mean that it will work for you. You have to test different things that haven't been published online, things that haven't been shared by gurus, because chances are you might find the most successful testing strategy, the most successful product, without following people's advices and strategies, just by following your own intuition and thinking outside the box. This matters because, like I said, what works for others might not necessarily work for you. And thinking outside the box pays off big time when it works. So what they should do is instead follow their intuition and not be afraid of testing different things which have not been published or shared online. Point number 8 is accept a slow start for a consistent future. This is something that I accepted myself in the early stages of my business, because I understood that for me to be able to build a long-lasting consistently profitable store, I would have to be accepting of the fact that it's going to take a while. It's going to be very slow in the early stages, but that is the price to pay for me to have a store that I can live off of and make it my full-time occupation, a store that grows consistently year over year, and the store that you can sell for a big amount of money when you do decide to sell it after running it for just a couple of years, 2, 3, or more years. 99% of dropshippers do not prioritize long-term consistency and growth over quick cash. Everyone wants cash quickly. Everyone wants to generate $100,000 in a month, their first, second, or third month. If they don't, they just throw in the towel, they give up, and they blame the business altogether, when it's in fact their fault for having such false beliefs about how business works. You should have a long-term vision, because our goal as professional dropshippers is to build something for the long run, something that is going to stand the test of time and we can transform our lives with, something that brings a predictable income every month and every year, and something that you can build as a digital asset that you can sell for a significant amount of money. Why this matters? It matters because the slower the start, the more likely the store will be consistent in the future, and vice versa. The quicker you make big results in the early stages of the business, the less likely that business is going to be consistent over the long run. It's like bodybuilding. You can take steroids, go to the gym for the first couple of weeks, 4, 6, 8 weeks, take steroids, and then totally transform and have super quick results and just blow everyone away with your progress. But will that progress be consistent in the future? Will you be able to retain that physique without those steroids for the next few years, for the next few decades? Well, no, you cannot, because someone else who might have accepted the fact that progress is very slow in the beginning, when they are natural, will take more time to build a nice, a strong physique, an aesthetically pleasing physique. It will take more time for him to build it, but over time, he's going to build a solid foundation, which is going to stand the test of time, and he's going to build the physique, which is going to be able to keep for the remainder of his life, as long as he keeps his diet on point and he's disciplined with the gym. Same thing applies for business. So I don't know why people think it's any different with business or any other aspects in life. Anything that comes quick, go quick. Anything that comes slow will stay. Point number 9 is picking the best quality product variant. 99% of dropshippers, they just cheap out on the products that they've sourced. They just want to make the most amount of margins, because they do not care at all about building a long-term business. They just care about making money now, this month, the next month, and that's it. They have no plans about the next year whatsoever. So what they do is they just typically source the cheapest version of the product, which is just trash and which is going to lead to their demise and the collapse of their store. Customers are going to start filing chargebacks and just bombarding them with negative feedback. So they do not order a sample and they do not thoroughly test the product. They just start selling the product without even holding it in their own hands, because they are just greedy and they want to make the most money. But it's going to backfire at them within just a couple of months, after they're going to see that chargebacks are going to come by the truckloads, as well as the negative customer reviews. So there goes your brand reputation, and there goes your plans of building a long-term profitable business. Why it matters? It matters because the quality of the products you sell dictates at least 80% of your customer feedback reviews. It is also directly correlated to the longevity of your brand. So 80% of your customer feedback is based on the quality of your products. Think about that, guys. Pretty much all your brand reputation and your customer reviews history is based on the quality of your products. So do you really want to cheap out on it? What they should do is they should not cheap out on the product's quality, like I said, and only get the highest quality version, even if that means having lower margin, because accepting the fact that you will have a lower margin will open up the doors of building a long-term, long-lasting business. And the last point, point number 10, is constantly optimizing. A lot of dropshippers, what they don't do, they don't keep A/B testing new store tweaks. They do not keep testing new creatives, and they stop looking for new products when a product starts working for them. Why this matters? This matters because e-com is a fast evolving and highly competitive business model. You have to always be on top of everything. And if you just decide to rest on your laurels and think that you have achieved it, you have made it, then it's not going to be long before you realize that some other competitors who have been on top of their game will catch up to you and will even outperform you and eat up all of your market shares. what they should do is always keep optimizing every single aspect of the business, whether that be conversion optimization through store optimization, whether that be testing different marketing angles, different ad creatives. Just keep testing anything and everything and see which thing comes out on top, and keep refining it, keep fine tuning everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. These are the most critical things which 99% of dropshippers do not do, neglect. So if you want to be part of the 1% of dropshippers that do succeed, do the opposite of what the 99% of dropshippers are not doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it valuable, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or seek any clarification about something I've said, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.